Have you ever felt completely drained, not from physical exhaustion or the demands of daily life, but from pouring your heart and soul into things that don't even acknowledge your effort? Imagine caring so deeply about people, situations, and outcomes that you lose sleep over what others might think, replay conversations countless times in your mind, or feel shattered by opinions that, in reality, shouldn't hold any power over you. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and there's a profound truth waiting to be uncovered. The truth is, peace isn't found in the relentless pursuit of control. It emerges in the quiet moments when you finally let go and embrace stillness. Most of us have normalized a kind of subtle chaos, overthinking every detail, overgiving until we're empty, and over-explaining ourselves to win approval. But what if I told you that on the other side of letting go lies a freedom you've never experienced before? Stay with me, because this is crucial. Your peace begins where your need for approval ends. Let's explore why we react so intensely to everything around us. Picture your mind as a mirror. When it's clean, it reflects reality clearly, but when a harsh comment, a judgmental look, or someone's opinion smudges that mirror, you stop seeing things as they are and start seeing them through the lens of hurt. Buddhist wisdom teaches us, you will not be punished for your anger, but you will be punished by your anger. That pain you feel isn't the world lashing out at you. It's the result of clinging to expectations about how the world should behave. The tighter you hold on to those illusions, the deeper the wound. So why does every little thing trigger such a strong reaction? It's not because the world is cruel. It's because somewhere inside you believe the world should be kinder, quieter, and more fair. But that belief is a trap. When someone challenges your views, criticizes your choices, or misunderstands your intentions, your mind goes to war, not with them, but with yourself. You're defending your ego's desperate need to be right, to be accepted, to be safe. But here's the shift. What if you could pause? What if between the moment something happens and your response, you could simply observe? That 1 second, that breath, that moment of non-reaction is where peace begins. Mindfulness isn't about being passive, it's about wielding power. It's the choice to say, I see the fire, but I don't have to burn. In Buddhist practice, this pause is sacred. The mirror doesn't fight the fingerprint, it simply waits for clarity to return. Ask yourself, what belief am I defending right now? The need to be liked? The fear of being disrespected? The urge to always explain yourself? When you trace the roots of your reactions, you'll realize the storm isn't outside, it's within. So try this. The next time something triggers you, don't respond immediately. Just sit with the feeling. Let the emotion rise. Let it move. But don't grasp it. Don't become it. The less you care about being understood by everyone, the more you'll understand yourself. Detach. Not because you don't feel, but because you want to feel better. Stop bleeding for people who wouldn't hand you a bandage. Free your nervous system from carrying the weight of every careless comment. Remember this, not everything deserves your energy. Not every moment requires your presence. The less you react, the more you reflect. And the less you care about proving something to the world, the freer you are to build peace within yourself. At the end of the day, it's not about who said what. It's about whether your mirror stayed clean. You don't need to control the world. You just need to master the moment between trigger and reaction. That's where your freedom lives. 2. The invisible traps that control you. You think you're free, but look closer. Your mind might still be a puppet pulled by strings you don't even see, strings of fear, approval, control. They move you subtly, constantly, until you no longer remember what peace feels like. Buddhism doesn't teach us to escape the world. It teaches us to escape our illusions about it. The Buddha once said, "It is not the chains on your feet that hold you, but the ones around your mind." These mental traps don't shout. They whisper. They disguise themselves as responsibility, perfection, ambition. But underneath, They're driven by the fear of not being enough. You wake up and check your phone, not because you care, but because you fear missing out. You say yes to things you don't want, because you fear disappointing someone. You post, perform, pretend, not for joy, but to feel valid. How many of your choices are just reactions to invisible strings? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from the meaning you attach to it. You weren't hurt because they ignored you. You were hurt because you expected attention. You weren't overwhelmed because of your workload, but because you felt the pressure to prove your worth through it. That's the trap, and it keeps you looping the same patterns until exhaustion becomes your baseline. But what if you could name these traps? What if you could point to a thought and say, "Ah, this is my approval trap," or "This is my overthinking loop"? Just naming them takes away their power. Because once you see the string, you can choose to cut it. Minimalism isn't just about owning less. It's about caring less about the things that don't matter. Emotional minimalism is saying, "I don't have to engage with this thought." That anxiety about someone's opinion, that urge to respond just to be understood, that endless loop of what ifs, these are just puppeteer strings, and the moment you stop dancing to them, you begin to live. Ask yourself, what's one mental trap silently draining my peace today? Why am I still holding it? Is it fear of rejection, need for control, desire for certainty? When you stop trying to control everything, clarity flows in. You begin to respond, not react. To observe, not absorb. Remember, you were not born to please people. You were not born to be perfect. You were born to wake up, to untangle yourself from the invisible expectations that steal your joy. You don't have to change the world to be free. You just have to let go of the strings. And here's the paradox. When you care less about controlling everything, you gain control over yourself. That's when happiness stops being conditional. That's when peace is no longer a reward, but a resting place. Cut the strings. Let your mind be still. You are not a puppet. You are the master who forgot. 3. When you stop caring, this happens. You hold on so tightly, gripping approval, expectations, outcomes, as if your happiness depends on controlling every part of life. But have you ever noticed how clenched fists can't receive anything? Not peace, not love, not freedom. Buddhist wisdom tells us that letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. It's a truth that feels like a paradox. How could not caring lead to more peace? But maybe peace isn't something you earn. Maybe it's something you uncover when you stop trying so hard to force everything into place. Think about it. Every time you try to fix someone, rescue every situation, or control how others see you, you exhaust yourself. Not because you're too weak, but because you're trying to carry what isn't yours. You weren't meant to hold the entire world on your shoulders. Some things are meant to pass through your life, not stay stuck in your nervous system. You want inner peace? Stop obsessing over things you can't control. Let go of the idea that everyone has to like you, that your plans must unfold perfectly, that people must your heart. Peace isn't found in fixing others. It's found in releasing the need to. Imagine this. Your mind is like a hand clenched into a fist. Now slowly open it. That's what letting go feels like. It's not giving up. It's making room for clarity, for breath, for space. When you stop caring about the noise, you begin to hear your soul again, and what it whispers is this: you were never meant to live in tension. Practice this every day. Start small. Don't check your phone the moment you wake up. Don't respond to that message that only invites drama. Don't explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Just let go. Give your peace the priority. The world won't fall apart, but your chaos will begin to ask yourself now. What's one thing you're gripping too tightly? Is it an outcome, a person, a story about who you think you should be? And what would happen if just for today, you released it? What if your worth wasn't tied to effort? What if your value didn't depend on hustle, approval, or performance? Buddhism teaches that suffering is not caused by what we lose, it's caused by our attachment to keeping it. So, the more you cling, the more you suffer. But the moment you loosen your grip, even just a little, you begin to float, you begin to trust life. And that trust is what brings you back to yourself. The less you care about what drains you, the more energy you have for what lifts you. You weren't made to react to every trigger, attend to every voice, or fix every broken thing. Sometimes healing is not fixing, but freeing. The moment you let go, peace walks in. Stop gripping. Start living. Happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. For the mindset shift that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. But most of us live like we are the storm spinning, crashing, overwhelmed, when in truth, we are the sky, always still, always present. Buddhism teaches us this powerful shift. Don't believe everything you think. Thoughts are just visitors. But what happens when you forget that? You become a prisoner in your own mind. You react, you overthink. You spiral into fear, shame, and anxiety, believing every thought is a fact, and just like that, peace slips away. But imagine this, a dark cloud forms. It looks heavy, threatening, and yet the sky doesn't resist it. It simply allows the cloud to come and go. That's the mindset that changes everything. You don't stop the storm, you stop identifying with it, you stop saying, I am anxious, and instead you realize, anxiety is visiting. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness begins the moment you stop identifying with the voice in your head that says, I'm not enough, and instead gently acknowledge, there's that thought again. That simple shift from believing to observing is the very heart of mindfulness. Meditation isn't a battle against your thoughts. It's not about silencing the mind or escaping discomfort. It's about seeing everything clearly and allowing it to pass, without clinging, without judgment. When your mind starts spinning familiar tales, they don't respect me, I'm going to fail, I'll never be good enough. Your only task is this: don't engage, don't argue, don't spiral, just notice, label the moment, let it go. Say softly to yourself, this is just my mind doing what minds do. The moment you stop feeding those thoughts your attention, their power begins to fade. Here's a quiet truth: most of what we fear never happens. Most of what we obsess over is just mental noise. So why carry every passing thought like it's your personal responsibility to solve? What if your thoughts only had power if you decided to give it to them? Would you still carry them so tightly? Thoughts will arise, emotions will stir, but they are not you. You are the one who notices, the silent witness behind the scenes. The more you return to that space, the less the chaos around you defines you. That's where peace begins. Not when life becomes still, but when you do. Next time you feel overwhelmed, pause, inhale, exhale. Watch your thoughts like clouds drifting through the sky. No chasing, no judging, no resisting, just observing. With time and practice, you'll realize the sky never fears the storm. It doesn't argue with it. It simply holds space and allows it to pass. If you long for clarity, create space. If you seek peace, stop trying to fix every thought. Let them float by. This is the power of detachment, not indifference, but wise discernment. It's about choosing to care deeply, only about what truly matters. Slowly, this becomes your strength. You stop drowning in emotional waves because you remember you are not the wave. You were never the storm. You are the sky. You don't have to silence every thought. You only have to remember who you are beyond them, and who you are is vast, still, and whole. Do less, but do it better. You're not exhausted because you're doing too much. You're exhausted because you're doing too many things that don't matter. Your energy isn't being spent, it's being scattered. To-do lists grow longer. Conversations drain instead of energize, and the soul feels neglected amidst the noise. Buddhism doesn't glorify hustle culture. It honors presence. As the Buddha once said, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. The same holds true for our actions. One meaningful step forward is more impactful than 100 hurried ones going nowhere. Picture your mind as a bow. Every responsibility, every worry, every obligation pulls that string tighter. But if you're firing arrows in every direction, how many actually hit the mark? Focus isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things with full intention. When you stop trying to multitask your way through life, you finally start living it. Distraction doesn't just steal your productivity, it steals your presence, it fractures your peace. You can't fully engage with this moment while worrying about 5 others, and if your attention is divided, so is your soul. So, here's your invitation to real clarity. What are your essential 3? What are the 3 things today, emotionally, spiritually, practically, that truly matter? Not 10, not even 5, just 3. Let the rest, because not everything is worthy of your energy. Not every task is important. Some things are just noise, demanding attention without deserving it. And every time you say yes to those distractions, you're saying no to your well-being. Real success isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, with more meaning. Mastery isn't about conquering your calendar, it's about showing up, fully and consciously, for what actually counts. Imagine waking up tomorrow with this quiet commitment. Only focus on what nourishes your peace, your purpose, or your soul. Everything else, release it. That email that can wait, let it wait. That unnecessary meeting, decline it. That person whose drama drains your spirit, step away with compassion. Life doesn't ask you to carry everything, it asks you to carry what's yours, mindfully, purposefully, and lightly. The power of doing less isn't laziness, it's discipline. The discipline to choose what deserves your life force, and when you do that, something miraculous happens. The fog begins to clear. Your mind slows down, your purpose sharpens, you stop moving in circles and begin walking a path. Ask yourself now, what task today can I eliminate or simplify to reclaim my energy? What if success wasn't about being busy, but about being aligned? What if the real progress wasn't in finishing more but in feeling whole while doing less? You weren't made to chase everything, you were made to live with clarity, like a single arrow aimed with presence, precise, powerful, and peaceful. Do less, but better, because a focused life isn't a smaller life, it's a deeper one. 6. Let go of the inner drama. There's a storm in your mind, and most days you think the only way out is to fight it. You analyze, replay, rehearse, try to fix everything and everyone. But what if the real solution isn't in doing more but stepping back? Peace comes from within, the Buddha taught. Do not seek it without. Yet here we are, wrestling the wave instead of watching it crash. The drama we experience isn't always from life itself. It's from the story we wrap around it. Most of our pain doesn't come from what is, but from what we think about what is. Imagine this. Someone sends a short reply. You instantly think, they must be mad at me. Your heart races, your mood shifts. But was there actually a problem, or did you just create a movie in your mind and cast yourself as the villain, the victim, or the fixer? Our thoughts are skilled storytellers, and without awareness, we buy into every plot twist they sell us. But there's another way, one that Buddhism offers with radical clarity. Become the silent witness. Let the thoughts come and go like waves on the shore. Don't chase them. Don't fight them. Just watch. You don't have to respond to every thought. You don't have to solve every feeling. Practice this instead. Stillness in the middle of inner chaos. Try asking, is this real, or is this just a story I'm feeding? That question alone creates space, space between you and the drama, and in that space, peace begins. You stop fueling the fire with attention, you stop adding heat to the storm, And when you stop feeding your thoughts, they lose their power. The next time something upsets you, don't react. Don't spiral. Just pause. Watch what your mind tries to do. You'll notice it rushes to blame, to predict, to panic. Let it, and just watch. You are not the storm. You are the space in which the storm happens. The more you practice this distance, the more you realize the drama was never about the world, it was about your attachment to how the world should be. Peace isn't a reward for fixing life. It's the result of no longer needing life to be perfect. It's what happens when you stop grabbing every thought and start observing. When you stop turning discomfort into identity. When you stop rehearsing imaginary arguments in your head that never happen in real life. What if you made it your practice today to let go of one mental movie, just one? The one playing loudest. The one creating the most noise. Let it run, but don't participate. Don't narrate it. Just let it fade, because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not react. The storm inside you will pass, but only if you stop standing in the rain. 7. Stay open. Pain knocks, and the instinct is to close, to fold in on yourself, to brace and protect. But here's the paradox. Healing doesn't happen when you close. It happens when you stay open. The heart, like a flower, doesn't bloom by avoiding the rain. It blossoms through it. In Buddhism, the truth is simple but hard to live. You only lose what you cling to. And clinging often looks like shutting down, holding back, or pretending you're unaffected. But pain is not the enemy. Resistance. Think about the last time you were hurt emotionally or spiritually. Did you contract? Did you shut the world out to survive it? That's natural. But it's also where most suffering begins, in the close. What if the true strength isn't found in putting on armor, but in staying emotionally naked, even when it stings? This doesn't mean becoming passive or letting people walk all over you. It means softening where life has hardened you, remaining open in the exact place where you were taught to flinch. When you feel that tightening in your chest, pause. Don't run. Don't numb it. Just notice, where am I closing right now? Is it fear, anger, avoidance? What am I protecting? Then breathe. Breathe into that space. Let it unfold. It's not weakness to feel. It's wisdom. It's not foolish to trust again. It's freeing. Staying open is not about allowing pain in. It's about not letting it trap you. We think shutting down keeps us safe, but it doesn't. It only cages us in stories, in assumptions, in repetitive patterns. True safety is found in presence, and presence requires openness. When you keep your heart open, you're not inviting more pain. You're allowing space for it to pass through without getting stuck. You stop internalizing every wound. You stop turning discomfort into identity. You start flowing instead of freezing. This practice is subtle, but life-changing. When you feel offended, soften. When someone doesn't meet your expectations, stay open. When life disappoints, breathe. That's where your power is. Not in controlling what happens, but in choosing not to shut down because of it. That's real emotional resilience. Let yourself feel what you feel, without becoming it, without collapsing under it. Because every time you stay open, even a little, you train your nervous system to handle life without fear. You tell your inner world, I am safe enough to stay soft. That's not weakness. That's invincibility. Not against the world, but against your own resistance. So ask yourself now, where am I closed? What part of me am I guarding too tightly? And what would happen if just for a moment I let it open? The heart that stays open cannot be broken, it only expands. 8. Cut the rope of expectations. You wake up expecting kindness, a message, a gesture, a recognition, but it doesn't come. And just like that, the mood shifts. Not because life is cruel, but because you were holding a silent rope, an expectation. Expectations are like invisible threads we wrap around people, events, and even ourselves. We think they connect us, but more often, they strangle our peace. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the origin, the root of suffering, and expectations are nothing more than refined attachments to how the world should behave to keep you happy. The pain isn't in the thing itself, it's in the story, the one where your friend should have remembered, the one where your partner should have reacted differently, the one where life was supposed to reward you by now. But life isn't scripted, it flows, and the more we try to control the script, the more we suffer. Every scene that doesn't go our way. Think about it. Who are you silently expecting something from right now? A word? A change? An apology? What emotion is living in you because they haven't given it? We tie our peace to outcomes, but peace doesn't live there. It's in your ability to release them. Let go to be free. Picture this. You're standing on the edge of a cliff, a thick rope clenched in your hands. On the other end dangles a massive stone etched with the words, "How life should be." The weight is unbearable, and the rope is slicing into your skin, draining your strength. And yet you think, if I just hold on a little tighter, maybe this will get easier. But the truth is, freedom isn't found in holding on harder. It's found in having the courage to let go. What if just for today, you loosen your grip? What if you let people be exactly who they are, rather than who you wish they'd become? What if you stopped expecting your job to define your worth, your partner to complete you, or your past to magically rewrite itself into something easier to live with? Releasing expectations doesn't mean giving up. It means giving in, to the present, to reality, to what is. And far from passive, this surrender is fierce. It's not resignation, it's liberation. Start small. The next time you feel irritation rise or disappointment tighten your chest, pause and ask yourself, what rope am I holding right now? And is it time to let it go? Breathe, release, not because they've earned your forgiveness or the situation is fair, but because you deserve peace. Every time you relinquish the illusion of control, you move one step closer to serenity. And here's the quiet truth most people never say out loud. Peace doesn't arrive when everything aligns perfectly. It arrives when you no longer need it to. So say this with gentleness and conviction. This moment is enough. I am enough. They are enough. Exactly as they are. The rope you release today might be the very one that's been suffocating your joy for years. Letting go doesn't weaken you. It sets you free. Practice non-attachment, not indifference. You can love someone with your whole heart and still let them go. You can show up fully and still not cling. Non-attachment isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of clarity. It's not cold or detached. It's spacious. It's the difference between holding someone's hand with warmth versus clenching so tightly that neither of you can breathe. Think of water resting in your palm. Hold it gently, and it stays. Try to grip it, and it slips away. This is the essence of non-attachment. It's not about withholding love, it's about releasing control. Buddhism teaches that to understand everything is to forgive everything. And with that understanding comes the softening, the loosening of the grip. Not because it doesn't matter, but because you realize it was never yours to control. Ask yourself this, is the ache in your heart from genuine love, or from attachment disguised as love? We often blur the lines, mistaking possession for presence, control for care. But true connection isn't about keeping something forever. It's about being fully there while it lasts. Can you sit beside someone, love them deeply, and still not demand they stay? Can you cherish a moment without needing to capture or prolong it? That's where non-attachment begins, not by withdrawing from life, but by engaging with it without trying to hold it hostage. There's immense strength in being able to say, I appreciate this even if it doesn't repeat. That's emotional freedom. Many fear that if they stop clinging, they'll lose everything. But clinging doesn't protect, it suffocates. Non-attachment whispers, I can be fully here, and if it ends, I can still be whole. That's not weakness. That's a kind of power that doesn't shatter when life shifts. a grounded resilience, a quiet confidence. Try this. Examine your life with honesty, your relationships, your ambitions, your self-image. What are you gripping so tightly that it's weighing down your spirit? Is it a title you no longer need, a relationship you've outgrown, a version of yourself that doesn't fit anymore? Can you honor it, love it, and still let it float away when the time comes? That's spiritual maturity, not detaching from life, but showing up with open hands and an open heart. Non-attachment is not indifference, it's deep care minus emotional enslavement. It means showing up with love, but not losing yourself in the process. It means listening without trying to fix, loving without needing to own, being with someone without fearing their absence. It means recognizing that everything is temporary, and instead of that terrifying you, it liberates you. Every moment you release the need for permanence, you allow yourself to actually experience life unfiltered, uncontrolled. When you stop holding on so tightly, your heart has space to breathe, and in that space, happiness grows, not because you have everything, but because you've stopped needing. 10. Stop performing for the world. You've been handed a script, a role to play, and every day, you perform it, hoping for applause. But what if just for a moment, you stopped pretending? What if you didn't need to act anymore to meet others' expectations? The truth is, social roles are illusions. And the more we perform for the world, the more we lose sight of who we truly are. You are not the actor. You are the one who writes the script. And today, you have the power to rewrite it. Imagine walking through your day without the weight of trying to be who others want you to be. No more shoulds. I should be more successful. I should be a better friend. I should be perfect. The constant pressure to meet external expectations leaves you exhausted and fragmented. The world's applause is fleeting, but when you live for your own truth, you create something far more lasting, a life that is whole, free, and genuinely yours. Think about your daily interactions. How many of them are driven by a desire to impress? Who are you trying to win approval from today? Maybe it's a family member, a boss, or even strangers on social media. What if you could let go of the need to perform for them? What if, instead of shaping yourself to meet their image of who you should be, you allowed yourself to simply be? What would happen if you stopped wearing the mask and let the world see your true self? Buddhism teaches us that the less we perform for external validation, the more aligned we become with our true nature. When you stop pretending to be someone you're not, you no longer have to hide behind the facade of perfection. You can show up fully, exactly as you are, without fear of judgment. This is where freedom begins. When you stop performing for the world, you make room for the most important performance of all, the one where you're simply being yourself. The less you care about what others think, the more you reclaim your energy and your peace. You begin to live with intention rather than reaction, choosing what serves your soul, not what serves the world's expectations. Ask yourself, who are you trying to impress today? What if you didn't need to? What if instead of focusing on how you're perceived, you focused on how you perceive yourself? The answer will set you free. When you live for truth, not applause, you will no longer be a puppet to external expectations. Instead, you will be the author of your own life, choosing each moment, each action, each word with purpose and authenticity. The less you perform for the world, the more you will become the person you were always meant to be. 11. Reclaim your attention in a world filled with distractions, where your attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. Reclaiming your focus is one of the most powerful things you can do. Think of your attention as light. Whatever you shine it on, it grows. If you focus on negativity, worry, or other people's expectations, that's what you cultivate in your life. But if you turn your attention inward, towards peace and self-awareness, that's what will expand. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. So what are you feeding your mind today? Is it peace or poison? The world has become louder, more demanding, and harder to tune out. Notifications ping. Opinions clash. It feels like the noise never stops. But amidst the chaos, there's a quiet place inside you, a place where clarity and calm reside. The trick is learning how to return to that space moment by moment without letting external distractions pull you away. Focus is your greatest power, and when you master it, you unlock the ability to shape your own reality. You can choose what you give your attention to, and that choice determines the life you live. One of the first steps to reclaiming your attention is a mental detox. Unfollow, unsubscribe, unhook from the things that drain your energy. It's not just about clearing out your social media feed, it's about clearing your mind of everything that doesn't serve your peace. The constant barrage of information, opinions, and expectations can overwhelm you, making it hard to hear your own thoughts. By removing what doesn't align with your values, you give yourself the space to hear your inner voice clearly. Reclaiming your attention isn't a one-time fix, it's a practice. Just like a muscle that gets stronger with repetition, your awareness can grow stronger the more you train it. Every moment is a chance to return to now, to redirect your focus from distractions back to your present experience. It's not about striving for perfection, it's about noticing when your mind has wandered and gently guiding it back. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll find that your thoughts no longer control you, you control them. Ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind today? Is it something that nurtures your peace, your growth, your happiness, or is it something that drains you, that feeds fear, anger, or anxiety? In a world that's constantly trying to pull you in 100 different directions, the ability to direct your attention towards what truly matters is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your own mind, and in doing so, you unlock the freedom to live your life with purpose, peace, and presence. The less you let the world control your focus, the more you get to decide what your life becomes. Bonus lesson: turn resistance into acceptance. Life is full of waves, constantly shifting, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming. We often find ourselves trying to fight against the current, struggling to control things that are beyond our grasp. But what if I told you that this resistance only drags you deeper into frustration and stress? What if instead of fighting the current, you simply let it carry you? In Buddhism, this is called acceptance. When you stop resisting the flow of life, you stop drowning in your own struggles. Instead, you float, and the river gently carries you home. Whatever has the nature to arise, has the nature to cease. The challenges you're facing today, they will pass. But only if you stop fighting them. We live in a world that constantly tells us to control, to fix, and to overcome. But what if life isn't a problem to be solved? What if it's a wave to be surfed? Every time you push against life's natural flow, you create friction, and that friction breeds suffering. When you accept things as they are, not as you think they should be, you tap into a deeper peace. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means starting from a place of inner calm, not panic. It's the difference between fighting against a storm and simply allowing it to pass. When you accept the present moment, as messy or chaotic as it may be, you stop carrying unnecessary weight. Think about the things you're fighting in your life right now. Maybe it's a relationship that isn't going as you'd hoped, a career path that feels uncertain, or a personal goal that seems impossible. Every time you throw yourself against the present moment, every time you think, this shouldn't be happening, you're just adding weight to your shoulders. But what if, just for a moment, you let go of the resistance? What would happen if you allowed yourself to accept what is, without judgment, without trying to change it? This shift in perspective is profound. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to stop working towards your goals or improving your life. It simply means that you stop fighting against what's happening right now. When you let go of the inner struggle, you create space for something new. You let yourself move through life more smoothly instead of fighting against the current. The key is to find calmness in the present moment, no matter how difficult it feels. Take a moment today to pause and breathe. Now gently ask yourself, what are you pushing against? Where in your life are you holding on too tightly to a situation, an emotion, a person, or simply an idea of how life should be? Often we believe that if we just try harder or hold on longer, things will get better. But real peace doesn't come from force, it comes from acceptance. What if just for today, you let go? What if you accepted things exactly as they are, even if only briefly? You might find that a bit of your tension melts and a quiet calm begins to rise. This is not giving up, it's waking up. The more we shift from resistance to presence, the more we begin to align with life's natural rhythm, and in that space, freedom begins. Your reactions to the world don't come from the world, they come from you. Most of the time it's not what someone said or did that upsets you, it's what it touched inside. These are your emotional triggers, buried attachments and wounds. The more aware you become of them, the less control they have over your behavior. Freedom begins the moment you start observing your reactions instead of becoming them. Most people are unknowingly ruled by hidden mental traps. The need for approval, fear of judgment, perfectionism, or the belief that they are only as good as their achievements. These unconscious patterns run the show until we bring them into the light. Once you name your trap, you weaken its hold. Letting go doesn't mean not caring. It means caring with clarity. You begin to understand that peace isn't found in fixing everything around you. Sometimes it's found in releasing the illusion that you even need to. The truth is, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. When you step back from your mental noise, you gain the power to choose what deserves your attention. This simple shift from being the storm to watching it can transform how you live, love, and lead. Imagine a life where you no longer drown in every thought or emotion. Instead, you simply let them pass, like clouds across the sky. In a world that praises hustle and multitasking, doing less but doing it well is a radical act of power. You're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're doing too much of what doesn't matter, spreading yourself thin across tasks, conversations, and expectations steals not just your energy, but your presence. When you choose to focus on fewer things with more depth and clarity, life begins to feel meaningful again. Ask yourself, what are the 3 things that truly matter to you today? Emotionally, spiritually, practically. Let the rest go. Not everything is worthy of your energy. Much of your suffering isn't caused by the world, but by the stories you tell yourself about it. Your mind spins dramas, predicts failures, replays regrets, but none of it is real unless you believe it. Peace comes when you stop feeding those stories. Watch your mind. Don't become its chaos. Stay open, especially when it hurts. Pain can either harden you or soften you. It's your choice. Emotional openness isn't weakness, it's courage, it's strength, it's healing. Now consider this. What expectations are you gripping so tightly they've started to hurt you? Imagine standing on a cliff, holding a rope that pulls on a heavy stone labeled how life should be. You're bleeding from the strain. But still, you hold on. Letting go feels terrifying, but it's the only way to feel light again. Releasing expectations doesn't mean you don't care. It means you choose truth over illusion. You allow people to be who they are, not who you wish they'd be. You stop waiting for your job to complete you, your past to rewrite itself, your future to fix everything. That's not weakness, that's liberation. Non-attachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to love deeply without needing to possess. Imagine holding water in your hand. If you cup it gently, it stays. If you grasp it tightly, it slips away. That's how true love and peace work. You can show up fully and still let go when it's time. You can appreciate this moment without demanding it lasts forever. Clinging doesn't preserve, it suffocates. True strength is saying, if this ends, I will still be whole. You weren't born to be a performance. You weren't born to play a role just to please others. You're here to live your truth, not someone else's version of it. So stop acting for the world. Peel off the mask, return to yourself, and protect your attention, like the sacred power it is. Every time you give it away to distractions, drama, and noise, you're letting life pass by in fragments. Where your attention goes, your life flows. Choose it wisely. Lastly, know this: resisting life only creates more pain. But acceptance, true, wise, open-hearted acceptance, is the beginning of strength. You don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to love every part of your story. But when you stop fighting reality, you stop suffering twice. That's how peace quietly arrives. Not with fanfare, but with awareness. Most of us are stuck in mental cages, reacting, overthinking, seeking approval, exhausting ourselves, chasing things that don't feed our souls. But there's a quieter way, a softer path. One that doesn't require you to control everything, but simply to master yourself. When you begin to care less about what doesn't matter, you begin to truly live, not just exist, not just survive. You breathe deeper, you speak slower, you move differently, and life starts loosening its grip. The pressure to prove fades. The weight of comparison falls away. You no longer dance to the world's noise. You start hearing your own rhythm. Zen wisdom says, when you let go of who you think you're supposed to be, you become who you truly are. Taking control of your life doesn't mean tightening your grip. It means changing the lens through which you see. You don't have to fix the whole world. Just shift how you respond to it. Real transformation doesn't begin with force. It begins with awareness. Take a deep breath, look inside, and take back your power. Not by doing more, but by letting go of what you never needed to carry in the first place. Deep down, you already know what matters. The noise will fade, the truth will remain. If these teachings have resonated with you and brought a sense of clarity or peace, share this wisdom with someone who might also be seeking their path to inner freedom. Consider subscribing to our channel to continue your journey of self-discovery and mindfulness. May your path be illuminated by understanding and compassion.